Hey everyone, this podcast is part of Story Mode, the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. You can support us and gain access to other great exclusive podcasts like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman by heading over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hypecast mit Tom Reimann und David Bell.
All right, hey everyone,
Hello!
welcome to another episode of Hypecast!
Woo!
Show where we get hyped about stuff and things. I'm your co-host, Tom Reimann.
I'm your other co-host, David Bell.
And who are you?
Oh, God.
Who am I?
Who am I? I wasn't expecting an existential freak out. I'm Marina Reimann. I'm not really a host, but
You're
I will do my best.
the guest.
I am a guest.
You're the guest.
See?
Welcome.
Now I know who I am.
Yeah.
We figured this out.
Yeah, we got down to it. All right. So should we get right into the trailers?
We might as well.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
jump right in.
All right. What's the first trailer? We got a pair
Mhm.
of Toy Story 4 teasers.
Yeah. This is sort of...
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is... I think I mentioned this on another where, like, we make these, like, trilogies and, like, the last Toy Story was like, we're done. Like, it did that pan up to the clouds in the sky, if you remember the ending,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
like reflected the beginning of the series.
Yeah.
And it was so conclusive, and then it's like, yeah, they loved it, let's do another. And it's that like, oh, you don't understand, we liked it because it was the end.
7 years later, let's do it. Or 8
Yeah.
years later, yeah.
So there's this weird rule, I think, now where we have to, as a society, just ignore them when they make a fourth.
Yes. We got to tell them to stop doing that by not going.
Right.
Things.
Or I mean,
we
just have to accept that this is like a fun little add-on.
Yeah.
Because I bet it'll be good.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
very
Toy
good.
Story's always good.
Yeah.
So.
That's the thing, is like every time they made a new one, when they made the third, I was like, how could they possibly keep making these good? And it was very good.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we should be.
Telling people not to go see Toy Story?
Yeah,
No,
I don't think anybody should be
yeah,
mad. It's just
no.
like, I mean, because the third one did end in a spot where it's like, well, they could make more if they wanted to, because the toys are with a new
Any
kid.
And
Right.
it's a girl this
It
time.
is a girl.
So, yeah, you get a whole new... I mean, girls do crazy stuff with toys.
Mm-hmm. Like they abandoned Jessie.
That's true.
Just leave her by a fucking tree on the side of the road.
Oh, man. I mean, I'm curious about this. There's that weird fucking spoon character.
That's
That was a
Forky.
great...
Forky.
Yeah.
I kind of hate that,
Yeah, me too. What the hell is up
but
with that?
I guess I'm sure it'll make sense in the film.
That's the thing. I guess there's... I have a feeling of trust on Pixar where it's like...
As long as it's not a Cars movie.
Yeah.
I don't even mind
I
the Cars
trust-
movies that much.
I trust Pixar usually.
Right.
I'm not into cars.
I mean, Cars,
Oh.
it's trash for kids,
Mhm.
but like even that stuff, it's still like not.
I mean, it's better
It's not
trash.
Minions. Like
Yeah,
it's
God,
not.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not Minions. Yeah, it's Pixar's trash, which is better than most.
Right.
Better than most's efforts.
Yeah, man. Pixar. I got so mad when they did the Minions thing because Tom and I had a Borderlands 2 Minions sticker on the back of our car.
I
and
know.
Then the Borderlands logo faded, so people just thought we were huge
Just
fans.
thought we were
of-
huge Minions fans.
Okay, so
It was awful.
it's been explained because
So we stuck a T-Rex on top of it.
we all quietly wondered about that
No,
sticker.
it's a Borderlands 2 sticker.
Yeah.
But the Borderlands
Ah.
symbol had faded off of it.
Yeah, and now it was.
Now it just said Minion on board.
and it's yellow,
Yeah.
And it's
wasn't
yellow.
it? And it's
Well, I
like-
mean, it's
It's
the
like a
yellow
baby on
danger
board.
sign, like the baby on board
Right.
sign.
Yeah.
I almost knocked my drink over.
It says
We-
Minion on board, and yeah.
it'll make you guys feel better because there had been private discussions about that
God.
sticker. We had all assumed that it was on the car when you bought it.
Oh.
That was our assumption because we were like, they're not Minions fans.
No.
Like, that
I've
is-
never seen the film.
Yeah,
If I
okay.
saw a Minion, I'd slap the bitch out of him.
Right.
Like those things.
Kids love them.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I know why, because they're dumb.
Because they're dumb. They do dumb things. And then they had that that wonderful interview with Trey Parker when he did Despicable
Oh,
Me 3. Where they're
yeah.
like, why do you think people like the Minions so much? And he explained like scientifically, he's like, well, because their voices are in this register that's very pleasing to people.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Like-
I guess he would know.
Yeah.
He's the guy to ask.
So yeah, Toy Story 4. I like the Key and Peele characters in the second
Oh.
teaser.
Yeah.
Always. Key and Peele will put my butt in a seat.
The little
duck
anywhere,
and the little rabbit.
anytime.
Yeah.
It's funny. I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy has done what Inception did for trailers. Like Inception had that thing, and now we have all the like 60s and 70s.
Oh, yeah. It's the ripple we're still feeling from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mhm.
Not just in trailers, but in like the way music in movies is.
Yeah.
Because it was very effective in that movie.
Oh God,
think
yes. I used to listen to those records in the basement with my dad, and it was very special. So
Yeah.
I think this one is a less egregious form of it because it's kind of still in line with Toy Story. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's like an old,
Well, I would say
tiny-
that
like the Mamas and the Papas.
right. It's not always bad. It's just like it was a realization with Guardians. I think when
Yeah.
they were
Yeah, and
like,
it's not
"Oh,
like-
this is a fun thing we can do,"
Yeah.
and this has, it's not.
Guardians didn't invent putting classic rock
oh
in
no,
trailers.
of course
Yeah,
not. They
exactly.
they
It's a certain style and
it
type
mixes
of it.
with
Yeah.
it's like you're like even the visual component. You're like kind of drifting and
Yeah.
stuff, and then there's this awesome 70s classic
Mhm.
rock, which is great. But so I guess Toy Story 4 is that supposed to be like for our kids? If Toy Story was for us?
Man, probably.
Who can say? Yeah. Who?
The first movie came out in 1995.
God, I was in
Yeah.
elementary school.
Jesus.
I was in 5th grade, I think.
Yeah, my stepbrother was 5 when that
Oh.
movie came out.
Never mind. Wait, what?
Yeah, Ian was
Oh,
like
right.
6.
That's right. Okay,
5
no,
or-
I
he
was not in
turned
5th grade. I
6.
was 5.
Yeah,
Okay,
there you
sorry.
go.
Oh, I do that too.
Tired.
Yeah.
No, I do that all the time.
Yeah.
I forget that you're not the age of the grade you're in.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been a while.
This-
The Toy Story series has been going on long enough that 2 of its cast members have died of old age.
Oh,
You're
my.
right.
So,
That's
Ooh.
fucked up.
Who's died?
Jim Varney and Don Rickles
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, I forgot
Don
Jim
Rickles
Varney.
is dead?
Mhm.
I didn't know that.
recently.
Yeah,
Oh man.
he was due.
But Jim Varney actually
He was-
died before Toy Story 3.
I was gonna say Jim Varney has been dead for a while.
Right, so they had
Who did he
already
play?
he played Slinky Dog. So they had already
Yeah.
replaced his voice with a guy that's a pretty good sound-alike.
Yeah.
And fucking Wallace Shawn is in his 70s.
Right.
Damn.
Like he's still hanging in there though as Rex.
This shit's gonna keep happening as
I know.
series
Well, I
stretch
mean,
out
it's
more.
gone on for long enough that the 2 leads, like Tom Hanks and Tim Allen, are in their 60s
Yeah.
now. So
Yeah.
it's like
I mean, it's now everything that we started in like the 2000s is now guaranteed to go on for like 40 years.
I
Yeah,
know.
because everyone in Hollywood loves fan fiction now.
Right.
It's like that's what we're doing. We can't let go. We are so attached to these characters
Well,
and these
it's-
stories, many different
yeah,
franchises. We can't let go.
Right. I'm glad we are. There's still new stuff.
yeah. There's still
It's just we're really savoring, like, it's now that realization that was just like, if we can hold on to this franchise, we're gonna do it. It's like TV. It's just, we've talked about it a million times. It's like television, where when you made a TV show in the 90s, it was like, and then we'll just keep making them
Yeah.
until people don't want it anymore.
yeah.
That's why it's nice to see like The Haunting of Hill House or
Oh yeah.
Maniac, where it's these limited series where they're like, and we're done.
Yeah, they had talked to Mike Flanagan about a season 2 of Hill House, and he's like, "Well, it would be a completely different story if it happens."
Mhm.
But
We should move on.
Yeah,
though,
we should move on.
because there's something that everybody wants to hear about, which is
Detective Pikachu.
At first, when I heard of this, I was like, he'd be the worst detective in the world. All he can say is his own name.
Right.
But then I watched it, and it was Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah,
It was
it is.
awesome.
It is.
Then I saw Ken Watanabe, who apparently is the go-to guy for
Oh, is
Monster
he in
lore.
this?
He is.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's the guy that's talking in the
Yeah.
beginning. It's like,
Yeah,
your dad
yeah.
was the greatest Pokemon
Oh, okay.
trainer.
Uh-huh.
I only watched this trailer once, and like, there's been a lot of hype around it, and a lot of people are like, this looks so fucking weird. To me, I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I watched it, I was like, yeah, okay, I'll watch this. And like,
I
moved.
have never seen a minute of Pokemon,
Yeah.
and I am going to watch this movie because it looks so insane.
Yeah, I think that's it. Is that Pokemon itself is insane?
Yeah.
It is.
So it made sense to make this. Where
Yeah.
it was
I
just-
because I think Detective Pikachu is a game on its own.
Yeah,
So I love that they were just, rather than doing like let's make a live action Pokemon movie, and rather than like trying to tell the story of the Pokemon show with like Ash and all the, they're just like, well, let's just do a story in this world where Pokemon is a thing and like Pokemon training and battling is a thing.
You know what?
Just have this story within it.
They're doing what Star Wars should have done.
Yes.
They're just like, let's have a detective story, a noir.
Story.
Yeah.
And it's like, who should voice Pikachu? I don't know, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
He's real hot right now.
Yeah, he can put butts in seats.
Yeah. Because Pokemon from the start, it always felt like a real fuck it show.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, whatever. Like
We're selling a game and toys.
It's the same with like Power Rangers, where they're just like, hey, let's take this Japanese show and like just steal the footage and reshoot scenes. Like, who gives a shit? And it all kind of goes in with that theme of like, I don't know anybody who's a fan of Pokemon who is like cares about canon or like is serious. It's never nobody's like offended or angry at a decision Pokemon related.
Which is a good thing, because if you're upset by Pokemon, you have to reevaluate your life.
Right.
Well,
and it feels like the tone they set was that. It's just like, hey, it's like just fun.
Each game, I don't think you play as Ash in the games, do you? Aren't you your own character?
You in the games, you're not a character at all. I mean, for the card games anyway. I
used to play the card games. Yeah, that was really fun.
In the Game Boy games. Well, I mean, in the card game, the conceit is that you are a Pokemon trainer, right?
Yeah.
But you're not specifically Ash Ketchum. You're just with
you.
your Pokemon.
It's magic.
You can earn badges and stuff. I did this when I was a kid. It was so much fun.
I did it when I was a teenager.
Yeah, because it was 1999.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, man. I caught shit for it, even in 1999.
Really?
Yep. I caught shit for Pokemon.
Even as like a 9-year-old?
Yes.
Catching shit for Pokemon?
I was catching shit for D&D too, and all kinds of other things. I just caught shit in general at that age.
I don't know. People are
can't
terrible.
Play Pokemon.
We should definitely play the game again. The card game, yeah. I spent a winter at like a French Canadian's house playing Pokemon with friends and getting drunk. It was real weird. It was a real weird time.
That's a fun game to play while drunk, I imagine. I
don't
know.
This fucking evolved into Pikachu. Raichu. There you go.
But I don't know. It's Magic the Gathering.
Is Pikachu the middle one or the
he's
first
the middle
one?
He's
the middle one. Okay.
Yeah.
The first one is Pichu, and he's a little baby, adorable thing. In Smash Brothers, he hurts himself if he uses his electrical attack on you.
What a useless attack.
Yeah, but he's super powerful. If he hits you and doesn't die, you are fucked.
So we'll keep that in mind. So Detective Pikachu.
Yeah.
It looks. I mean, I
wish I had more to say about it.
I so love the idea about this movie.
Yeah, it just looks
I
like.
I don't know how they keep roping Ken into this, like Godzilla, first of all, and then
money.
Money.
Yeah.
The answer is money.
You guys should be detectives.
Yeah.
Just solve this mystery for
I've long thought about opening up a detective agency.
Mm-hmm.
like a PI.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll get a PI's license and be all sleazy.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Yep.
I could follow people.
Take pictures
of them having sex.
Take pictures of people having an affair and fucking
destroying families.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they destroyed themselves. I'm just the messenger.
Yeah.
You're just
I'm just Detective Pikachu.
You're the guy with the wrecking ball.
On the mean streets.
You're following a city ordinance thing, but yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Fucking Pikachu. I don't know. They look just CGI. They look good.
Breaks into his apartment.
Yeah.
I like the style of it because it.
They didn't go with realism.
They didn't. Which good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
Don't do that.
Yeah. Agreed. The tone. Well, the tone was very different from what I was about to say, but never mind.
No,
but it made me think of Sorry to Bother You, the horse people. Just that sort of ridiculousness.
Oh, yeah. I can sort of see that. I don't know. They nailed the tone, I think.
Yeah.
I went into this. I wasn't going to like it, but I'm interested and might see it. We'll see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to see that.
Yes.
Speaking of, personally, I think a CGI not looking great. The Dumbo trailer is the next on here.
Ooh.
I don't think anybody needs to
I
watch
watched
this.
it's the first thing that it's the live action Dumbo. It's the full trailer. We had a teaser before.
Yeah, this is the Tim Burton directed live action Dumbo.
I wanted to say right off the bat, it starts off with "From the imagination of Tim Burton," and I was like, "Is it really?
No.
Yeah.
Is this Dumbo remake really from the imagination of Tim Burton?
No.
My thing about Dumbo is it's a sad movie.
Yeah.
And it's depressing, and it's like, why do we need that again? Like, why does a new generation need to watch this little baby elephant get its heart broken by its mother, torn from it? It's like it's like making another Land Before Time. Like if they did a CGI one, where I'm like, that movie fucked me up. Don't fuck up my niece and nephew now with that shit.
Well, Dumbo at least reunites them.
Yeah. Spoilers.
Hey.
In Land Before Time, the Littlefoot's mom is dead.
Oh, yeah.
Dead and gone forever.
Yeah.
I've never seen Dumbo.
You don't. I guess you don't need to. I don't feel like anybody needs to see Dumbo because I don't think
not
Dumbo.
a particularly
Not
profound or great story.
Yeah, and it was just like, he gets reunited, but it's generally I don't remember. I don't know.
It's a series of heartbreak and injustices, and then it all turns out right in the end. But it's sort of like watching Game of Thrones, where it just fucking beats you up.
Yeah,
for the longest time.
Beating you until you're so numb you don't even feel anything.
Yeah, Marina, when you're saying like I never saw Dumbo, I wanted to just be like, don't.
Yeah.
Just I mean this I don't care.
I saw one scene, and that was in the movie 1941.
What scene is in 1941?
It was the scene where Dumbo's mom is reaching through the bars.
Oh, so the worst
You saw
him.
the saddest scene.
Yeah.
It was awful. I was so glad that John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd were fighting outside the theater, so I could think about that instead.
This trailer had like they're like, look, that scene's in this. Like they show it in this trailer. Like
when they play the song that plays.
That's like why are they?
Don't you cry?
Yeah, why are they like being like, don't worry, everybody. The tragic scenes are in this. Like, remember this song that's heartbreaking?
I understand that because that's what people remember about Dumbo.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of the point of
That's
Dumbo.
true. It did stick with me, and I saw it on a movie, or within a movie within a movie, and it did stick with me.
Marina, you also said that you didn't know about. You were saying before we recorded this that you knew that there was an elephant with big ears.
Yes.
Did you know he could fly?
No.
Okay, so
Doesn't
this
seem
is
physically
That's
possible.
the point of the
But that's the thing is this is an old enough movie that people might not know that. And this really, this has been both trailers on Dumbo. They keep doing this thing where they're like, fly, Dumbo, I know you can fly. But then like in the first third of the trailer, they show him flying.
So we know too.
Yeah, so we all know that the elephant's going to fucking fly in the movie. And I know they're thinking like, well, everybody knows the story of Dumbo, but they don't.
But we don't.
Nobody,
Yeah.
everybody doesn't know the story of Dumbo.
And so it's just weird that the trailer has that like, Willy won't he fly? But they show him flying in the trailer, so it's like
I don't know.
Trailer's all you need.
Yeah,
I don't know what the tone of the trailer. Like watching this trailer, I said out loud, I was like, I don't know what the hell this movie is going to be.
Yeah,
because we have the story with Dumbo, but then it's like Colin Farrell and his kids, and Colin Farrell's riding a horse, and then also scaling a bridge.
Right.
Like, what the fuck is this movie?
I don't know. All I know is Michael Keaton looks amazing.
He looks great.
Yeah.
And he's doing an amazing voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing that makes me curious about this movie is because I love Michael Keaton. And
Yeah, and it's Tim Burton doing Michael Keaton and Danny DeVito again.
Oh, you're right.
I saw
Danny DeVito's the ringleader.
Man, but Clown Dumbo looked terrifying.
Yeah.
That's apart from the film.
I almost
too.
screamed. I was just like, because I was not expecting it. I'm afraid of clowns.
That's next to the mother thing. That's like the saddest part.
Him being a clown?
They dress him up as a clown and march him out there to perform, and
Jesus.
it's like he steps on his own ear, and so it's just like
Aw.
everyone's laughing at him.
This baby elephant dressed like a clown. Oh my god!
This
I mean, all you need
this
to know is that
asshole brat comes up and starts yanking on his ears. Oh, this is what causes Dumbo to get his mom taken away from him. The crowd starts abusing Dumbo.
Right.
Oh my god!
I mean,
pulling on his ears, and this fucking obnoxious kid yells into it. So she goes ape shit.
Yeah.
And grabs it and throws him and
Kill
breaks
those
down
kids.
breaks down the tent. So they have to lock her up because she's a dangerous animal.
Oh my god!
all you really need to know about Dumbo to not want to see it is it's a movie about a circus elephant in like the 30s.
Yeah.
That's really all you need to
Horrible,
know.
Abusive.
Yeah.
Because we don't do this to them anymore, do we? Elephants? I really don't know anything
not
about
in
the
this
circus.
country.
The circus still exists.
Yeah.
I've never been to the circus. So
You don't want to go to the circus. Yeah. I've been to one traveling circus, and it was a fairly, like, there were no animals. So it was like, this is fine. This is
what did they have?
fun. They had, like, a lot of, like, fucking daredevil acts and shit like that.
Oh, that's
where they have the metal ball and they fucking...
Yeah.
Have you ever been... All right, I think going to the circus now, you might like it because there's probably less animals. They have this big steel ball. And I saw, this was a great fucking act when I saw it, and then they have people in motorcycles and they drive on it and they flip and go around. And the act I saw, it was two people doing it. And they kept their helmets on the whole time. And they were in it, flying around and stuff, almost hitting each other. And then a fucking little person, like you don't know who it is in a helmet, comes out as well and does it on their own.
Oh wow.
And then they all took off their helmets and it was a husband and wife and their kid. And I was just like, that is fucking awesome. Yeah. And they were just like this family, and it was just like, this is the best family ever.
Yes, it's like a cooler version of Robin's family.
Yeah. So it was like, it's the opposite of Dumbo.
So yeah, Dumbo. I don't know.
Dumbo.
I'm just not gonna see it, I don't think.
I mean, we probably, if we're still
we might have to
if we're
see
still
it.
alive and doing these podcasts, we might have to do it.
But
depends on what's out that weekend.
I feel like that movie's gonna cause like a 5% increase in everybody's weight when they watch it, because it's a movie. It sounds to me like the kind of movie, it makes you want to stress eat in the movie theater.
Yeah, for sure.
What's the next trailer?
Fighting with My Family.
Wow, I don't get this one.
Yeah.
I'm not so excited.
I like
about
it.
This movie.
Yeah, it's about a real brother and sister, and I need to know.
Well,
I
let's
don't know
start.
who it is.
It's a WWE film.
Of course it is.
With Nick
They are
Frost?
known for their good films. It has Nick Frost. Yeah. It has The Rock in it playing himself.
It's produced by The Rock.
It's produced by The Rock. It's written, directed by
Stephen Merchant.
Stephen Merchant,
who you briefly see in the trailer.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And it is about what's her name? Paige, the wrestler.
Is it like
It's based
Paige?
It's based off a real wrestler.
Yeah, I didn't know.
It's
if
someone
it
else
was...
playing her.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is Paige.
It is Paige.
Okay. This is Paige's story.
Yeah, and it's
All right.
her. It's her biopic / comedy.
Yeah, it's such a weird tone.
And Vince Vaughn's in it. Is he playing like Vince McMahon? Is that
No. He's playing. I forget. They say his name.
Oh,
He's
okay.
He's basically a talent scout for WWE.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
I mean,
it's about her and her brother both trying to become wrestlers, and she gets accepted, and her brother doesn't.
Yeah.
And then he like comes along with her.
Like, I feel like the weird thing to me is that this is the biopic of a current wrestler produced by WWE. That's what makes it weird.
That is odd. Yeah.
Like, on its own, if it was just this movie with these actors and this story, and it wasn't a biopic produced by WWE, I'd be like, that looks like an interesting movie. But like, the fact that it is, it's like, this feels like propaganda. But then it's written and directed by Stephen Merchant.
Right. I think what's happening is WWE has always made films.
Yeah, well, not always, but
not always, but
the
like
past 10 years.
We just recently watched No Holds Barred, which I think is a WWE film. I assume it is.
Yeah, it is.
And so all their films have always been like propaganda for wrestling in a way. I think what's happening is, and then they made See No Evil, which we covered on Best Bad Movie.
He sure did.
I think WWE has always been just trying to do stuff for movies, and they're not sure what they're doing. And this is just another example of them like, well, let's get like Stephen Merchant to write and direct a comedy.
Let's make a British comedy.
Yes.
About professional wrestling.
I'm stoked about this movie, to be honest with you. 10 seconds in, I was like, yeah.
Yeah. The Rock is great in it.
Yeah, objectively, like the trailer this looks like a engaging movie. Yeah. It's just my knowledge of the weird behind the scenes thing is making me be like, is this propaganda?
Yeah.
And Tom's got that insider wrestling knowledge.
Yeah, well, I mean, not as much as some.
True.
But,
that's how we got married, kind of.
My wrestling knowledge.
Yeah. If you hadn't come to the Masonic Temple for the wrestling.
Yeah.
For Masonic Temple Wrestling.
That's right.
Folks.
That's where we met.
It is.
Yeah, there are candles and robes.
Yeah,
masks.
there were candles. There were.
Sextants.
There
Lots
were
of
candles.
sextants.
We were selling them. And also I was massaging the wrestlers and Tom. And he asked me to marry him that very day. And I said yes. 10 years later, here we are.
Jesus.
I mean,
At the Masonic Temple.
yeah.
Yep.
I'm really picturing something different than I think what was happening.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm
you
picturing
definitely
like
are.
the Simpsons.
Yeah, the druids.
The Drew. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Okay. To Captive State.
Captive State. It's we talked about a trailer of this a few months ago that was way more compelling.
Yeah.
This looks very rote.
I honestly
Yeah.
don't think this. You guys both said the same thing. I don't think this is that much different, is it? I guess it is.
Well, the first trailer was just showing people. I mean, we had voiceover of like how
Right.
good and prosperous everything is, but you can kind of see that people are working shit jobs
Yeah,
and living in shit
everything's all
buildings.
drab
Right.
gray and
And then it was like, let's all get together for the
Right.
thanks ceremony, and it's this that shows this. I think it's John Hamm,
Right.
but it might not be. But it's like him getting everybody together in this stadium to be like, let's for the giving thanks, whatever, and then you see a spaceship floating.
yeah,
Right.
what the fuck? I thought the movie was better before that
Well,
moment.
The problem is, I think, is that the trailer you're describing was really good.
Yeah,
But then there has to be a whole movie.
that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah,
And this
so
is the whole movie.
Yeah, they have to show you more. Had this movie never told you there were aliens, and like that's something you learn in the movie, that I bet that would be cool.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
But then we wouldn't be knowing about this right
Right.
now. So I think I don't know.
I like what you said, Dave, here in the notes about how alien invaders are always big monsters now.
Yeah, they felt like we had this thing where we were doing Greys a little bit. We didn't do Greys that much. Like there
Yeah, we had,
was
like,
a
Fire in the
stereotype.
Sky.
X-Files.
Yeah, technically Independence Day. They're sort of
yeah.
Greys in that.
Yeah, they are.
Inside
Yeah.
their big monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got the best of both worlds there. And like I always thought Greys were kind of actually creepy.
They are. They scare
Yeah.
me way more than these big stupid monsters.
I also I like when aliens are scary.
Yes.
That's like there's something really scary about aliens. Like that movie The Forgotten, which wasn't a very good movie. I don't know if you guys saw
I
it.
didn't see
I don't
it.
think I
They
saw
did
it.
one amazing thing in that, which the idea is The Forgotten was this woman like realizes she had a kid and like she had forgotten that.
Wow.
And like it's that idea of a group of parents like realizing they had kids and like where did those kids go? And it's aliens, but like it's done in this very mysterious way where like you always feel like there's this presence watching them. But one of the coolest things they do in it is the aliens every now and then will abruptly abduct someone, and it's like her having conversation with someone, and that person will just fly into the sky and just like you'll see him just go,
Sweet.
and it's like
that.
no beams, nothing like that, just like yoink. And so like there's such creepy ways of doing aliens, and like because they're like weird phantoms, like they have these powers that we don't understand. My point is that
like
at
Alien,
some
the movie.
at some point we like aliens the different direction where it's
Yeah.
like the creepy demon
It's a
monsters.
fucking
But
demon.
like as long
Yeah.
as they're, I feel like they're scariest when they're about our size. I've always
I think
felt
so,
that
and
way.
when their powers are like almost supernatural because they're so
Yeah.
beyond us.
Clark's Third Law, is that what that is?
I don't want to keep
Yeah.
going on this.
Yeah.
The movie The Fourth Kind, which is not a great movie, but they did a good thing where she's hypnotizing all these people in Alaska.
Owls.
Yeah, and they all keep talking about how they keep seeing these owls outside their window, and then they realize slowly, oh, it's not an owl. Like
Whoa.
it's just another thing with big eyes.
Not
And
here to deliver my mail.
Yeah.
My
It's not here to
wizard mail.
it's not here to take you to Hogwarts.
but so there's just so many cool ways to do aliens, and they've sort of just started making them these big monsters.
Yeah.
And I think Arrival did it really well, and I think
Mhm.
that's the only movie that really did it effectively for
With the
me.
big monster.
I
Yeah, with the
completely
big
agree with
monster.
you. Completely.
And so this looks like they're big monsters again.
Yeah.
It could be good
Yeah,
though.
It could be. I
I
don't
feel
know.
like they don't need aliens. This movie could be. I feel like I don't know. Maybe I didn't get what I was supposed to get out of the trailer, but I mean, the State of Our Union is housed enough. We can have our own conspiracy horror movie.
Right.
They don't have to be aliens.
I don't know. I think.
I think the idea is
Yeah,
it's supposed to be the aliens have won, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we've already lost.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
There's
the
one-
title Captive State.
Yeah, there's one
Yeah.
shot in the trailer that compelled me because it reminded me of that fucking movie Cell. Is there's a shot of a football game?
Yeah.
And they're all like going in a circle.
Yeah, that
like
was
that.
creepy.
There's a music video called Witch Doctor. It reminded me of too, where like what are they doing? What are they doing there? That looks
What's
really
happening?
cool.
What's happening there?
Yeah, and Cell has that as well. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I guess after hearing you guys talk about it, I'm more into the idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty. That first trailer was good, but like everything about this felt like.
Yeah, I don't know.
Before we recorded, I was comparing it to that fucking Battlefield Los Angeles or whatever that was called.
Battle Los Angeles.
Battle Los Angeles, where it was like there was some compelling trailers, but like it had nowhere to go from the compelling trailers.
I
It was
forgot
just like
that movie existed.
yeah.
Me too.
Sometimes a strong teaser is not a good sign. I feel like because it could peak. It could peak at the teaser.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like the Godzilla, Matthew Broderick Godzilla had some great teasers.
Yeah, you don't want that
sweet,
to happen.
Some sweet teasers.
Yeah.
And then the movie is the movie.
Yeah.
What's next?
We're on to our news stories.
Oh, word.
Yeah. So Stan Lee is dead.
He is.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Rip, rest in paradise.
Yeah. I wasn't that sad because he was old. And
He was
it was
95
like
and
He was very old.
and he'd been married for 69 years.
nice,
Nice.
nice,
His wife, he said, was the girl he's been drawing for years.
nice.
That's how he described
He
her.
timed that on purpose.
Yeah.
Did he?
I'm gonna die when we hit 69.
Nice.
Yeah, it's and also like it recently where all that stuff was coming out about him getting kind of abused by his
Oh yeah, that was sad.
his
yeah.
business partners and his daughter and everything. So it's like,
Oh, that's awful.
I don't know. It's just this is one of those things where like it's not like people aren't allowed to be sad. Like he contributed a lot, but I always get less sad when it's just like this is the world working. Where it's like old person dies
Yeah.
of being old, and it was like okay,
And dies adored, legendary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, well, it's this, it's
I'd be happy to go out that way.
yeah,
it's still sad. It's like
Oh,
having a very elderly grandparent, and you're like, okay, I know it's a
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
and then,
Yeah, Stan Lee was America's grandpa.
I don't know why I'm taking this weird stance because it's
you
like
are.
I guess I'm trying to talk about how it
ghoul.
personally affected me, which was like doesn't matter.
Well,
It's like, oh, that's so much of my I've known
Yeah.
the name Stan Lee since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
So, so much of my interests but honestly, my career
Right.
is around
just
the characters
look around
he
our
created.
apartments.
Oh yeah, it's all
Stan Lee is
Oh yeah,
everywhere.
he's painted. Yeah, he's decorated this fucking apartment.
yeah. We there's an elaborate mural that spans across all four walls of my apartment of Stan Lee. That's what
Right.
we're all examining.
Yes, and just a cardboard cutout in the bedroom.
Yeah, it's a mural of that photo shoot he took where he was reclining naked on a couch
Right.
with a gigantic magazine covering his junk.
Yeah, it's a really good marital aid. You should try it.
It is, yeah.
He looked like
I see his spindly limbs. I'm just
Yeah.
ready to
looking
go.
at these old pictures of him. He looks kind of Sean Connery-esque.
A little.
Yeah.
Like I feel like they could have hung out and like been like a couple of lady killers in the 70s.
Oh yeah.
Oh goodness, yeah.
Their
I was
mustaches.
just gonna say
Yeah.
Strong
Mustaches and
Yeah, strong
sideburns and
mustaches.
big ass glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
both very charming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Army Hammer's
Oh,
Army
fucking
Hammer's
Army.
weird.
Twitter
What are
response.
you doing, man?
Weird ass hill that he decided to
Yeah,
die
he
on.
tweeted, and I think it's since been deleted. I should actually click on the thing.
I've got it.
Oh, okay. What did he say?
He said a whole bunch of stuff.
It's
Well,
right
just,
at the
just
top.
the first one is what
Yeah.
we're interested in.
it might not have loaded.
It's right. Let's see. Hold on. He said, "So touched by all the celebrities posting pictures of themselves with Stan Lee. No better way to commemorate an absolute legend than put up a picture of yourself."
Actually,
And like it was like, huh. Well, this is what you're angry
Weird.
about. And then the best part though is that he spent like the day fighting people
Like
Yeah.
defending
about it.
his position. Yeah.
Yeah,
and I know
that's the funniest.
they worked together, and that's like
Yeah.
his thing. Because
What
the
did they,
answer
what
to
did
that
they work
was
on together? I'm
off the top
trying
of
to
my
think
head.
of what
I don't know.
Marvel
I'm gonna-
production
But,
Armie
like,
Hammer was
I'm
in.
gonna
What-
look real quick.
What a bizarre take.
It is.
What
it
a
really is.
strange thing to get angry about. Because, like, if I had met Stan Lee,
He posted
I would post
Well-
a picture of me with him because I want to
Hell
post something
yeah.
personal to celebrate. Like, oh yeah,
And
I
even-
met this guy once. Rest in peace, Stan Lee.
Well, yeah,
like,
and
He
even
was
if
generous enough to give me a photo.
Yeah.
and even if what happens when you go on like social media or like when you go on Facebook to be like, oh, like my brother just died, like what do you
Oh, okay. So he's since apologized.
45 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Just apologize. But like, what happens when like a family member dies and you go on Facebook to talk about my family?
Show
You
pictures
put pictures of them up with you in them, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's
so
what a weird thing to get. Like I sort of get what he was saying, be like, oh, you're making it about you, but it's like, no, that's not what that is.
And now you're kind of making the whole thing about you.
Yeah.
Come on,
Jeffrey,
Armand.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan pointed it out. That, by the way, Jeffrey Dean Morgan got him to apologize by calling
comedian
him...
has to get you to apologize.
Called Armie Hammer an asshat for bashing Marvel fans and celebrities for paying tribute to Stanley.
It was just like...
He deleted the tweet.
I assumed Armie Hammer was just like drunk and angry or something.
It was the
like
middle of the day.
It was such a weird, aggressive tweet.
It was,
and it was such like I guess what you're saying, Tom, gave me a little perspective because I literally was like, I don't know why he would think this.
The best I can come up with is that he was looking at it at the point like, oh, you're making his passing about yourself,
right?
Which people have done, but I don't think this is an example of
but
that.
Also, here's the thing: is Stanley's such this big, larger than life person? He's a Disney character that kind of all we can do is make his passing about ourselves because. For most of us, it's like I've never met him.
Yeah.
I don't know him.
But like
all he did was to inspire me.
Yeah.
In this, he's an abstract figure to me.
And
even these actors, I think.
Yeah, and I don't think he would have. I feel, and a lot of the other actors have said this too. But I mean, he loved his fans and he loved the attention. He did cameos for a reason.
He loved being Stan Lee.
He loved being seen and he loved doing all this fun stuff. I mean. I say post away.
I don't think he would be upset that people marked his passing by posting photographs they got to take with him.
I loved
sweet.
I mean,
I loved all the photographs because even the ones where it's like Hugh Jackman and stuff, I feel like Stan Lee doesn't quite know who these people are. Like he gets so many pictures taken with him, with like different actors in his movies that I feel like after a certain point, he probably just like stopped. Like, oh yeah, you're in one of mine, sure. Like,
well, I mean, I'm sure he knows who Hugh Jackman is, but like the flip side of that is, regardless of the fame level of the person in the picture, everybody's expression is the same.
Yeah, they're all
like,
really
I'm
happy.
Stan Lee.
Yeah. Everybody's jazzed. Just everybody. It's so funny when that particular picture of Hugh Jackman and Stan Lee, it does look like a fan taking a picture with Stan Lee.
It's also clearly he hadn't met him in a while because that was clearly taken like while they were shooting X-Men.
Yeah.
Yes, he had that hair.
Yeah, and it was like an old photo.
Yep.
Well, do you guys want me to tell you what Armie said in his apology?
Sure.
All right. So thank you, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, for bringing this to us. Armie says, 45 minutes or so ago, while attempting to provide some unnecessary social commentary about the current selfie culture, I, in true asshat form, thank you, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, inadvertently offended many who were genuinely grieving the loss of a true icon. I want to apologize from the bottom of my heart and will be working on my Twitter impulse control. Nice, Armie.
Thanks, Armand.
I'm not going to go into it now, but I'm really irritated about the idea that selfie culture is a problem.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
Get over it.
Yeah, because it's also just a thing that people have done since they've had cameras.
Yes. Right.
And
when you go to the...
Also, all selfies are... It's us just not having to inconvenience someone to take a photo.
It's us not handing the camera to somebody else. Like, what do you do when you go to the Grand Canyon? You take a picture of yourself in front of the Grand Canyon.
Yeah,
like that's go.
I don't. Yeah, I don't want to.
You couldn't really. I mean, for me, as our family, we didn't have just cameras to. I didn't have a camera when I was a kid or a teenager. Right. I wanted one, but they're really expensive. So, I mean, I think everybody likes to take pictures of things.
Yeah, sure.
I also want to give a shout out to Topher Grace for sharing a Spider-Man 3 meme as his.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
I get it. It's the only thing Topher Grace has got.
It was the only time he worked with Stan Lee, and Stan Lee's cameo in that isn't a bad cameo.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's
he
just
like says something like uplifting to Peter.
Yeah, he's like, one person can make a difference.
Yeah,
enough said, and like he leaves. No, it's just it's just a funny.
It's funny that it's from Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, there's a bunch of those like that. I saw like Jessica Alba being like so honored to play Sue Storm, and I'm like. man, I mean, I get it. Because can you imagine being a fan? Can you imagine being, say, a Daredevil fan and then getting to play Daredevil, but you're Ben Affleck and it's like 2008?
Oh, man.
9?
When that came out?
No, that didn't come out in 8 or 9.
Came out in 2003.
3?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's early. And like, that's it. That's what you got. That's your Daredevil.
You worked on with them.
That would be
Or
very sad.
Halle Berry playing Catwoman. And it's
Oh,
like, this
shit.
is my
Yeah.
Catwoman.
In that movie.
Catwoman's DC. She plays Storm in X-Men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I just mean playing an iconic person
Oh, right.
and like getting to be like, yeah, that's me. That's my go at it. It wasn't great, but it's special to me. God damn it, because
Yeah.
it must be special to them.
yeah.
Especially if you're a fan,
Yeah.
yeah.
like Ben Affleck getting to be Batman and stuff like that. Like these are special things for those actors and probably their family and stuff, and their kids. But like, wasn't like. Yeah, like Fantastic Four wasn't the greatest.
Ugh,
It's
that's a bad
Josh
movie.
Trank tweeted about the R.I.P. Stanley as well, and he was like, I feel like I've kind of disappointed him, but I think like it was something like
I
that.
think you did, Josh Trank.
Yeah,
You made a terrible ass movie.
It is that was awful. That
Yeah.
was really awful. I tried to go into it with an open mind.
Nah.
Didn't help.
yeah.
About it.
Moving on, Jack Reacher is getting some sort of streaming reboot. People are saying like it's a Netflix reboot, but if you read the article, nothing's set in stone here.
Mm-hmm.
In the interview where the creator Jack Reacher talked about getting the reboot, he also commented that Tom Cruise was too short to play the role and doesn't want him to do it. He was very nice about it.
Yeah, he said something like the Jack Reacher, you're supposed to feel his presence
Right.
when he enters a room, and Tom Cruise, for all his talent, simply does not have that physical presence. I think that's what he said.
Yeah.
Well, two things.
Okay.
One, yes, he does.
Yeah, I agree.
He's world famous actor Tom Cruise.
I'm calling bullshit on this explanation.
Two, there is a hilarious series of memes you can find on the internet where people have screen capped excerpts from the various Jack Reacher novels that just the guy using idioms to describe how huge Jack Reacher is.
Right.
Like there's some about like how he constantly describes the size of Jack Reacher's hands as being the size of various birds you buy at the store. Like the size of chickens, the size of turkeys.
Well, this
That's
was
like
how-
very big hands.
this
That's
is
bigger
what-
than Hagrid's hands.
Like this guy is obsessed with how massive his character is.
Right.
Okay, so he clearly has some inadequacies.
Well,
of
maybe,
his
or
own.
it's just like, no, he's got to be a fucking Jan.
Yeah.
This Cruise is short.
But I mean, being short never stopped Tom Cruise before, and we have CG, we have shoes,
Right.
elevator shoes,
You know,
which he did
apple
used to wear.
boxes.
Yeah.
Also, who cares? Because
Yeah.
if
Apparently,
like-
hardcore Jack Reacher fans do care.
well,
apparently,
here's the
but
thing: is do those exist?
Enough.
according to the article, they do.
Okay, because here's what I was thinking: is that like I never heard of Jack Reacher until Tom Cruise came along and
Yep.
made it a thing for me,
Same.
and so it's kind of like. Yeah, like the creator being like, yeah, we don't want Tom Cruise. It's just like, he's the only thing you got, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is
The
it.
only
like,
reason anyone bought a ticket to that
Yeah,
fucking
Yeah,
film.
No
exactly.
one cares about this.
Like,
he brought, like, he's probably the reason that was cool, like, practical stunts and shit, because Tom Cruise is so into that.
Which good for him.
Chris
by the way.
McQuarrie directed that, I believe, the first one or the
might have
second
done- He
one.
might have done the first one. I think.
Yeah, and it's just like, fucking beggars can't be choosers here,
No.
buddy.
Well, it's like when
You
it's-
made your book became a Tom Cruise action series.
Yeah.
Fucking be happy.
It's like when Clive Cussler got mad about his Sahara movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
It's like, oh, they messed up my dirt pit character.
Oh, God.
He's got McConaughey doesn't look anything like him, and it's
Of
like
course not. You can't just.
you're bitching about having Matthew McConaughey
Right.
play your character.
Mind you, that was like mid 2000s
Yeah.
McConaughey.
Yeah, it was
that wasn't the
mid-2000s.
best.
That was a message in a bottle.
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey.
But yeah, I mean, I think this person's going to learn just how little people give a shit about Jack Reacher, because we barely give a shit about it now. Like,
The
Yeah.
only reason I know he exists is because it was a Tom Cruise
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, I've never seen a single one of the movies. I've
Yeah.
just seen the posters.
Me either.
I've
I
watched
just-
them both. I
I'm
fell
aware of
asleep
them.
during the first one. The second one was pretty good. I don't remember it, but it was pretty good. They're like thrillers. They're like Jack Ryan's.
Isn't Werner Herzog the bad guy in the first one?
Really?
Werner Herzog is in
Isn't
this?
he?
I don't know about
Werner
that.
Herzog is in Jack Reacher, and no one told me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be
Well,
so
let's
mad.
let's not run
They're
with that.
they're good though. They're good films. They're very forgettable.
So Jack Ryan and Jack Reacher, what the
Two
hell?
different guys.
Two different guys.
Okay, they sound exactly the same.
Jack Ryan is Harrison Ford played him, and so did Alec Baldwin. And
it's a
then,
Tom Clancy character.
Yeah, and then Batfleck did it for one movie, and then Chris Pine did it in the worst Jack Ryan movie.
Oh, wow.
And then John Krasinski was in the TV show, which I watched all of and enjoyed.
Werner Herzog plays the Zek in
Okay.
Jack Reacher.
My
We
God.
should probably revisit that first movie.
Agreed.
We got to move on.
Love Werner Herzog.
Yeah, we should move on. We
Right.
don't have to talk about this too much. The Avatar sequels have wrapped production.
Meh.
I found
I'm
that.
amazed.
Yeah, I was very surprised because I didn't even know they were in production.
Me neither.
I guess they've been doing it for a year. When they say wrap production, they mean all their main cast
Filming is done.
is done for the first 2 movies.
I thought they were making 3.
Oh yeah,
I think
sequels.
Yeah, I think it's only 2 they're shooting now,
Okay.
which
That
okay.
makes a little more sense because it was like, really, you've wrapped production on 3 films.
Yeah, that's
Avatar to
impressive.
me
He
is like-
James Cameron.
Yeah, and it took like 16 months,
Yeah.
15 months of shooting for the Lord of the Rings trilogy, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. We can't underestimate
Jim Cameron.
Jim Cameron.
Yeah.
He's made exactly one film that disappointed me, and that was Avatar. So it's like, yeah, it's weird that he's making these.
Yeah.
But they also feel like it's like the world has gone insane since the first Avatar in terms of movies. So to me, it feels like if Glenn Beck came back, and I'd be like, "Oh, this guy's not so bad." Like it's that where it's like Avatar,
Let's
like
hear him out.
yeah, like movies have gotten so off the rails that now it's like a couple Avatars. Sure, I'll watch a couple
Sure,
Avatars.
fuck
I
it.
don't-
What the
Yeah.
hell do I have to lose?
Yeah.
Oh, Glenn Beck.
2.5 hours? Sure.
He wanted to buy a piece of art from me when I did epilepsy art therapy.
You
program
should
in
have
Virginia.
sold him.
I was, yeah, I should have. I said no, and I shouldn't have because I mean I regret it so much now because that
Yeah.
would have been
Well,
Fuck it.
cool. But I sculpted a
I
statue
mean, not
that was
cool,
like this.
but like
The cool thing is what it was he wanted to buy from me.
Yeah.
What it was I sculpted a cliff with like a hell mouth underneath it with spikes, and I painted it black and red, and like it had this little lady standing on top of the cliff, and the grass is falling down. She was about to fall into the hell pit. That's what Glenn Beck wanted from me.
yeah, I can see him having like
Well,
a dojo with that in it.
we found out later that he has epilepsy, right, or something.
Not epilepsy. He has something else. I'm not sure what.
So, because like at first when we first found out about it, it was
we
like
were like,
so out of the
no.
blue. It's like,
Yeah.
why the hell does he want to buy that? And then we found out he has like some.
Yeah.
So it like
now
apparently
I feel
spoke
bad.
to him on some level.
It did.
Like,
Glenn Beck.
Yeah, and there was like a giant clock also behind the lady
Yeah.
who was about to fall because the point was that you can, I mean, epilepsy can just kill you at any time it wants. Sucks. But yeah.
I can see
Anyway.
Glenn Beck buying something about the inevitability of death.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
All right. Final news story. Eddie Redmayne admitted that his Jupiter Ascending performance was, not great.
No, I was in the hospital when I saw that
Yeah.
movie. You guys came to visit.
Yep.
I was on so many drugs, and I still thought it was a terrible movie.
It's the only part of the movie I liked was his performance.
Yes.
It's so if you haven't seen Jupiter Ascending, I mean, watch it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's bad in a fun way.
Yeah. Watch it with friends.
Yeah.
It's just so crazy.
But then the additional thing is
yeah, his description of why.
his description of why because he spends the whole time whispering, basically.
talks like
Yeah.
this
And
in the movie.
he, in this interview, I guess casually noted that it was because his character's throat was ripped out by a wolf man.
There are no wolfmen in the movie.
There are
There
like
are-
owl
Well,
men
there's like
and
a
shit.
dog. Isn't he a dog man?
Channing Tatum's
Channing
a dog
Tatum's a
man. There are
mog.
owl
He's a
people.
mog.
There's an alligator man.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So when he says a wolf man, it's like, sure.
Okay.
I'm
I just wanted to clarify that none of this is in the film.
Yes.
He just decided this.
That's his
Yeah.
headcanon, I guess.
Yeah.
Or the Wachowskis,
Wachowskis
were
told
like,
him.
yeah.
Yeah.
You got your throat ripped out by a wolf man, and this is how he interpreted that information.
Oh man! And when he told AV News what that was, he actually did it in the voice. Can
Of
somebody
course.
do that? Somebody do it.
I just did it.
You did?
Yeah. I was like, he talks like this.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
I
yeah.
meant the line.
Oh,
What
he
he
just.
says.
Well, I mean, yeah,
he
it's
says it
just.
in the voice.
Yeah, it's just what we just described.
I know. I just thought it would be cool.
Well, I can't do his normal speaking voice, so it would be like 30% of an impression.
This was putting on the breathy, choked affectation he uses through the film.
Yeah, for the one. Look, we're spending too much time on
I
this.
know. Okay, my dreams are never going to come true.
I just want to say Eddie Redmayne still bugs me.
Yeah?
I don't know what it is. It's not fair to him. I just don't like his face. I don't like his stupid face. I don't like that he's in my movies.
Get out of my movies.
Yeah. He's a fine actor. There's no logic behind it.
You just dislike
It's just when the moment I saw him, I was like, I don't like
Nope.
him. Yeah, I don't
That's
like
how
this
I
guy.
feel about
Not him.
Meatloaf. And
Yeah, but there's very real reasons to not like Meatloaf.
but I didn't know that.
Oh,
I just
okay.
found him off-putting as hell. Just he frightened me, and as a result of that, Jack Black frightened me for a very long time because they look
They
alike.
look sort of similar.
You can see that.
But now Jack Black is my friend.
Yeah,
He's all of our friends.
we all like Jack Black.
Yeah. He's wonderful. Tom sings his songs in the apartment all the time.
Meatloaf?
Just randomly. No,
Meatloaf.
no,
Oh,
never.
Jack Black. I have been known to sing "Paradise by the Dashboard Light" every now and then.
Just without prompting, without reason. Just comes out. It's awesome.
What's next?
We're done with
Hype.
news. Yeah, we're
Oh
done.
yeah,
we're
Dave, you
time
gotta.
for-
moved on to a movie that deserves more hype, guys. This is coming out the
Woo!
day this podcast releases. So
Yes.
today.
Go see it now.
Well, you don't have to go because
anywhere.
this is coming out on Netflix. This is surprise.
Okay.
I've known about
Go
this
to
for
your
about a
living room.
week.
Yes, go to your room.
I'm surprised people don't know about it. Or maybe some people do. It's called Cam. It is at a 95% right now on Rotten Tomatoes. It's I think co-produced with Blumhouse. It is about a cam girl who is, who does like porn for the internets. And she does like weird stuff. She like pretends to slit her own throat. And then one day she's locked out of her account and there's just a girl who looks exactly like her doing her cam. And she can't figure out why. And it seems very surreal, the trailer. Definitely go see the trailer or just watch it. And I think it's supposed to be a deep fake, is one of the things it might be. I don't think they make it clear what this other person is who looks exactly like her.
For those of you who don't know what deepfake is, technology that can be near seamlessly graft one face onto another body.
Yeah.
That's,
And
yeah.
I think the
I
big
didn't
part
know
of
what that
this
was.
is that it's oddly realistic. Like it's a sci-fi premise that could actually happen right now.
It's
Um,
yeah, or it could be supernatural. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah.
But just from the reviews, they talk about one of the big parts of it is she like goes to the cops and she's met with tremendous misogyny and people not understanding the internet,
Yeah.
which is a true thing. We don't have
Yeah.
laws. Like deep fakes are a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like someone could do something like this and we don't really have laws in place. The most interesting thing about this is it was written by an actual woman who was a cam girl.
Just so cool.
Yep, and it's directed by the guy who directed her videos.
Which is awesome.
So, and they're both like first-time writer-directors, and it's from the reviews they're saying like it's a very insider look at this. It's a very non-Hollywood look at being a sex worker, like a
Right,
more
not exploitative, and
not
more
exploitation,
Yeah.
not just written by
some fucking dude.
some dude who has no background in
And
it.
it's
What if a
really-
cam girl got hunted? Baby?
Yeah.
I really appreciate that too because I think it's something that we need to talk about.
Yeah.
And I also really liked how in the the trailer or whatever I was seeing what the audience wanted her to do, and it's interesting commentary on people. It's
Right.
like, well, if you have the freedom to say, hey, I want to watch a lady slit her own throat or whatever, which is one of the things that she does.
In the trailer.
They just in the trailer, yeah. You just tell her to do it or request it and stuff like that, and they get off on that, and that's to me very creepy but very realistic.
Yeah, and that's a lot of the reviews talking about this are saying that it's like sort of unconventional. It goes a little in places you don't think, but it stays like a very entertaining film at the same time.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't go too far off the rails. It really sounds like they're trying to like shine a little light on this occupation while still giving us like a fun
Like a
thriller
good
plot.
thriller, yeah.
Yeah, like they're not just making a documentary or anything. Like, so it just
Yeah.
seems like a really interesting film that's also just like a good thriller. Like,
it looks good. I'm excited to watch
whatever,
this.
If you want it for thrills, if you want it for social commentary, you want it for whatever, it's got everything.
Yeah, it seems like it does. Yeah, and
we don't have the verbiage to describe a lot of the crimes that take place on the internet, and as this movie or show rather points out,
it's a movie.
Points out that there's no the streaming part confused me for a second. There's no law really to protect against a lot of the awful things that go on the internet.
This reminds me a little bit. You guys didn't see Unsane. It was the Soderbergh.
With Claire Foy.
Yeah, shot on an iPhone, which was neat because you really can't tell it was on an iPhone. He does a good job shooting it.
Neat.
But it's about a woman who gets committed and doesn't belong there, and it's this like, you think it's going to be this, is she crazy or not? But they actually kind of answer the questions really quickly, and it's a satisfying but frustrating film. And it has that same feeling of like someone who's just like nobody will help them, and like they're just like trying to deal with this thing, and like it's done really well. It seems like it's that weird frustration that hopefully Cam will have. I guess we'll see.
Yeah,
I'm hoping it won't be too frustrating.
I imagine,
I get really frustrated with those.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Tom, oh man, poor Tom has to put up with so much.
Yeah.
Well, they're really like, when it's that like, no one will believe me or something like that, it's just like, fucking somebody help this person.
Yeah, I just want to start punching and kicking and punching everything. And everyone.
It's the Cape Fear plot. Like, Cape Fear kind of originated that.
Yeah.
Haven't seen that.
Or actually, I would say Night of the Hunter originates that. That's about Robert Mitchum hunting two children, and no one will listen to them because they're kids.
Yeah,
and that's a great movie.
Man.
Yeah.
So watch Cam. On Netflix.
That's
on
what
the
we'll be
Netflix.
doing.
Yeah,
We're
tomorrow or today.
Today.
Yeah.
As this, you're hearing it. This is touching your ears.
You
traveling through time right now.
Yeah, you can stop this podcast and start Cam now.
You could.
Yeah, do it. Do it now.
I think that's a show.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yay.
Marina, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Oh, thank you guys for enduring me on the show today.
Do you have anything you want to plug?
I sure do. I would love to plug. I got a happy announcement. I finally qualified to be a Twitch affiliate.
Woo!
So please subscribe to DarthMarina.tv, Twitch TV, and if you would like to have a lot of fun, come on Tuesdays and you will watch Horizon Zero Dawn. Only it's my version of it, so Horizon Zero Dawn.
Nice.
Where we kill so many people. So many.
And you occasionally dress up as Aloy.
I do, yes. I cosplay as well. I forgot about that. That is important.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
Yeah.
And just check out our Patreon, patreon.com, Gamefully Unemployed.
Yeah.
Kick us some bucks.
We also got some t-shirts at tpublic/Gamefully Unemployed.
I think you have to type in /user/Gamefully
user.
Unemployed. It's a confusing system. But anyway, check those out. We got some shirts. We got some shoits.
Oh, yeah. And those broadcasts are usually around 2 or 3 o'clock, and it might be a Thursday instead of a Tuesday. Kind of depends, because I have health issues, and my health meter determines when I do this stuff.
You'll tweet it. You'll tweet it. What's your Twitter, Darth Marina?
It is.
There you go.
Woo!
Excellent.
Follow that for all the scoops on the Horizon Zero Dawn stream.
We have so much fun in there. Come on. The crowd's great, and they love new people.
All right. Say goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Our music is produced by Chris Corlew. You can follow him on Twitter at @thecorlew, CORLEW, and find more music at shipwreckedsailor.bandcamp.com. Our artwork is produced by Justin Brown. You can follow him on Twitter at @JustinTBrown, and find more of his artwork at artnessbyjustinbrown.com and justinbrown.info.